Soundarya Lahari Sloka number 28. Sudhaamapyaasvaadya Sudhaamapyaasvaadya Prathibhayajaraamruthyuharini Sudhaamapyaasvaadya Prathibhayajaraamruthyuharini Vipadyanthe Vishve Vidhishathamakhaadyaa Divishadaha Vipadyanthe Vishve Vidhishathamakhaadyaa Divishadaha Karaalam Yathkshvelam Kabalithavathaha Kaalakalanaa Karaalam Yathkshvelam Kabalithavathaha Kaalakalanaa Na Shambhosthanmoolam Thava Janani Thaatankamahima Na Shambhosthanmoolam Thava Janani Thaatankamahima. This is a very interesting sloka. So the basic meaning of the sloka anyway is given in the written form. So I will tell you some interesting stories to explain this shloka. The theme of this shloka is that Sudhaamapyaasvaadya, despite consuming amrita, the nectar, which is supposed to confer the deathlessness and also anti-aging on the gods in heaven, like Brahma and Indra, etc. They don't become old, they don't die. So despite those people also, at the time of Pralaya, they disappear. They are no more. But your consort, Sadashiva, despite consuming one of the deadliest poisons, the halahala, is alive. Karaalam Yathkshvelam Kabalithavathaha Kaalakalanaa Na Shambho. Why is that? Tanmoolam, that is because of you. How because of you? Thava Janani Thaatankamahima. It is because of the Thaatankas. Thaatankas are the ear ornaments, which are made of these leaves. So he attributes the survival of Sadashiva despite consuming the deadliest halahala to the ear ornaments of the Bhagavati. That is why we say even Rudra, Namakach Prashna of Rudram says, Shiva Vishvaha Bheshaji. She is like a medicine to him. Bhagavati is like a medicine to Lord Shiva and made him survive that deadly poisoning. Actually, when demons and the gods rarely came together to work for Amrita, so they started churning the milky ocean with the mountain and the Vasuki as the rope, Manthara mountain as the churner and the Vasuki as a rope. One side the demons, other side the gods started churning it. It started sinking. That is when Mahavishnu appeared like a tortoise, a gigantic tortoise, supported the Mandara Parvata and facilitated its journey. As a result of this churning, several good things happened, including the moon, the Ma Lakshmi, and the Kamadhenu, Kalpataru, Uchchaishrava. So many things have come which everybody happily distributed. But in the middle, it also gave halahala, one of the deadliest poisons, within minutes of its emergence from the Milky Ocean, started burning the entire worlds. Gods, including Brahma, Vishnu, and all, could not control it and took refuge in Sadashiva. Then, when Sadashiva has to now take an action to control the poison, it is so deadly that it may be lethal to him also. Then what did he do? He looked at Bhagavati. Bhagavati did not even understood his intention, did not even discuss or say a word, just whisked her eyebrows, said, just go ahead. And with that confidence given by Bhagavati, the Sadashiva has taken the that deadly halahala, and he took it and controlled it at his neck. He did not allow it to go into stomach, because there are all these worlds are reside in his stomach. It can be lethal to them. So he controlled it, he stopped it at the neck, and that neck became black spot because of the halahala, and that Bhagavati turned it into kind of an ornament for Shiva. So that the black spot in the neck of the Shiva indicates all this episode. So the confidence Bhagavati displayed during that crisis was because of her confidence in her Mangalya, and which is in turn inspired by her Tatanka. That's why Tatankas are not only ornamental for the females, but confer immortality to the consort also. That is why it is very important to wear them. And how did this Tatanka happen? There is another very interesting story. Once there was a get together in Kailasa. So Saraswati from Brahmaloka and Lakshmi from Vishnuloka and Parvati's mother Menaka came from Himalayas, and they all had a get together, and Lakshmi, Saraswati were showing all the new ornaments, dresses they have acquired during this period, and were boasting about their wealth and whatever what all their husbands have given them. Poor Parvati did not have any of those flashy things, because Sadashiva is always in tapasya. He was meditating all the time. So he has no time for neither acquiring or providing any of these ornaments, clothes and all. Those are typical of these females. So Parvati also was a yogini, so she also didn't bother about them. But now there is a peer pressure. People came and started laughing at her, and her mother Menaka also felt very bad that her daughter Parvati is looking so poor compared to the other wives of the Trinity, Saraswati and Lakshmi. So she also said, what is this Parvati and all? So Parvati got depressed, and headed towards where Sadashiva was meditating in one of the peaks of Kailasa. And presence of Parvati disturbed his meditation. He opened his eyes and found Parvati depressed. She wouldn't say a word, she wouldn't ask for anything, but he, being Sarvagna, omniscient, knew what happened. What can he give her? I mean, Himalaya or Himavat Parvata, her father is my gold mine of all diamonds and all those things. So that she has. So it was a big task for Sadashiva to find something which is very unique, which nobody else has in this world. So he thought for a split of a second, he came to a conclusion, and then he took these leaves from one of the plants and started drawing some geometric figures. And he made 2 such ear ornaments out of those leaves with some tantric diagrams. That is nothing but the Sri Chakra. That is the first ever origin of Sri Chakra. And he has decorated both of them with his own hands to Parvati. What happened? Next few seconds, the entire Parvati has transformed. She has become like a powerhouse, radiating brilliance, radiating auspiciousness, radiating what all the best in the world. She has become the manifestation of the Parabrahman itself, because the Sri Chakras Shiva conferred such a kind of a power on her through these Sri Chakras, and which she wears as ornaments. And when after some time there was a get together, and all these people came, and Menaka, her mother, could not recognize her own daughter because she was exuding divinity, and Saraswati Lakshmi also came and realized she is way above them in power and all, and because of these new ear ornaments just made of leaves by Paramashiva, and they all fell at her feet and worshipped her. That is why even in Gauri Puja, even till now, those who follow the tradition give those ear ornaments made of those particular plant called Tataku in Telugu. So that is how the Taatanka's story goes with the Parvati. That is why Sachamara Ramavani Savyadakshina Sevita. After that, one side Saraswati, one side Lakshmi start weaving her, and she became, consort of the very Parabrahman, not just the wife of Rudra, the third Trinity. So later part, there is another interesting story. There is a place called Jambukeshwara where Devi is called as Akhilandeshwari, and she belongs to the Apas Tattva on the banks of Kaveri, that is Jala Tattva. There the deity has become very, very ferocious. It's not that deity has become ferocious, the deity is very powerful, but in Kali Yuga we became weak. So when we go in front of her, we could not tolerate the power she is radiating. So people were suffering when they went to pray to her. That is when Adi Shankara visited the temple, and then he has made two Sri Chakras and drawn most of her power into those Sri Chakras and fixed them as her ear ornaments. That's why Akhilandeswari in Jambukeshwara has Sri Chakras as her ear ornaments. There is yet another very interesting story told about this one, because we also hear that Tatanka Yugalibhuta Tapanodupa Mandala, her ear ornaments are not only made of Tatanka, and also the sun and the moon sometimes are the ornaments. For Devi in different Virat Swarupa, the sun and moon are described as her ears, her eyes, her ear ornaments, and her breasts also, because she is the universal feeder. There is a place in Tamil Nadu called Tirukkadayur where the deity is known as Abhirami, and there was a devotee called Subramanya Iyer who used to go there, pray to her and meditate on her the whole day. He won't get disturbed by anything happening in and around him. He is such an ardent devotee. Once the king of that particular province came to visit this one, so they usually evacuate and give exclusive darshan to king's family. But Subramanya Iyer could not be disturbed, could not be roused from the meditation. So the king got irritated. He went and said some harsh word to Subramanya Iyer, and suddenly he came out of meditation with a startle and opened his eyes. Then suddenly the king asked Subramanya Iyer, "What is the tithi today?" He was looking at mother and meditating on her full moon face of the mother. So he said, "Today is Paurnima." Everybody else were around that got astonished, because that day was actually Amavasya. King said, "If you said Paurnima, so I am going to come in the night and you have to show me the moon, otherwise your head will roll, you will get the death punishment," and went off. Then people appraised Subramanya Iyer, "What the hell have you done with this one?" Then Subramanya Iyer, in his unconditional devotion to the mother, said, "My mother will save me if she wants to." And he started praying her loud, and throughout the day as continued, and night came and the king came with all his people to behead him, because he knew that it is Amavasya and there is no way moon can come. So the Subramanya Iyer was composing some extempore prayer shlokas on Bhagavati. About 78 or so have come when the king came, and they were extraordinary poetry, and king was surprised at their beauty and was just listening to them. In front of the king, as Subramanya Iyer completed the 100th shloka and opened his eyes, it was to everybody's surprise, there was a full moon in the sky. And when Subramanya Iyer opened his eyes and looked at his feet, the king fell on his feet and said, "Forgive me, I never realized you are such a great devotee, and even this Kali Yuga, this kind of high devotion happens, and the goddess also responds. You are such a..." He was praising Subramanya Iyer. Subramanya Iyer, in his all humility, told the king, "It is not me who is great, but it is my mother." she threw one of her Thaatankas, the left-sided Thaatanka, into the sky, and that is nothing but the full moon, which was shining on a Amavasya day to save my head. O king, you have to prostrate to the mother, not to me. I am not great, my mother is great, all great. And that is how the stories of Thaatanka go. Thaatanka has such a great value in one's own life and one's consort's life, and people who recite this shloka, it has a great healing effect on not only on the physical body, mind, and also all these astronomical problems people who have in their Jataka Kundali.